New York is a pretty solid ground for venture capitalists and angels alike. There's definitely a very strong community of of investors here, which is great. This is what is required for any ecosystem to flourish. Is that full flow of investors, entrepreneurs, and ultimately acquirers and IPO opportunities. That coexist in roughly the same environment. And then yes, you have advisors, supporters, hiring universities that complete the ecosystem. So New York has some very strong elements of that. Definitely some of the premier venture capital funds are headquartered here, or at least have a very strong presence in New York. And there's plenty of successful entrepreneurs as well who've done this before. They have some capital and they're investing in New York companies too. Every investor whom you're going to talk to will look to do a couple of things. First of all, they will look to see if they can really add value to your company. Second point is they will look to minimize risks, right? And risk can be, is your team in place? Are you already operational in the U.S. market? Do you have, traction? How are your customers sticking around, et cetera? How big is the market, et cetera? So those 2 points, adding value and minimizing risk, is something that you as an entrepreneur have to keep in mind when you're raising capital. So a U.S. investor, especially if we're talking about Boston and New York, they will look to see if they can add value to your business. To which if you say, hey, actually, we're very serious about the U.S., we are going to be launching in the U.S., or ideally we already have customers from, who come from the U.S. Maybe we don't have presence yet in terms of an office, but there's already business being done here. That goes a long way to give the sense for the investor that that you're actually already halfway there. In that case, they say, well, actually, I can start helping them out. I can really start adding value because the business is already, halfway there. And then in terms of minimizing risk, that's across the board, whether you raise in Europe or in the US. It's important to help the investor really understand the nuances of your business and kind of highlight the key areas, I guess, where you're already very strong. And some others where you may need to continue building the strengths, for your company. When it comes to team structure, when it comes to your understanding of the market, competitive landscape, technology differentiation, intellectual property, and whatnot.
The opportunity for Mixcloud in going to New York is very simple and clear for us.
We've just launched our company and we're just getting some press, and we've gotten a lot of interest from New York.
To go out there, pitch for investment, meet new people, meet new contacts.
If you're in New York, you have access to not only the New York market, about the same size as London, but also the rest of the homogeneous US market.